Hey everyone, today on People Now, Chris Cuomo gives an update on his son's coronavirus diagnosis.
We're okay. I mean, as okay as we can be.
Superstore star Nico Santos opens up to us about how his family is coping with the heartbreaking loss of his stepfather due to coronavirus.
Also, on the lighter side today,
under the rainbow, I will spin.
Grammy winner Alessia Cara tells us about her role in the new animated Netflix movie, The Willoughbys. Your family can watch it right now.
Your favorite vampire slayer from What We Do in the Shadows, Harvey Guillen, gives us a tease of guest stars coming up in season 2.
Plus, Cameron Diaz opening up about life in isolation and how her and hubby Benji Madden are splitting baby duties.
That and more today on People Now. Let's go. Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Welcome to People Now. I'm Andrea Boehlke here in Wisconsin, still here. Things are going great. Jeremy, how are you doing in New York?
I'm still here. Things are going great overall. I mean, no one's sick, and that's a great thing. We feel very fortunate for that. I'm embarrassed to admit that we started watching Too Hot to Handle on Netflix. And you're ahead of me.
Wow, way to call me out. I am on episode 6.
I texted Andrea last night. I was like, hey, we're watching this. Are you watching it? She's like, yeah, I'm almost done, basically.
It's a pretty salacious show.
It's salacious.
It's interesting. But I don't know, it's really addicting. There's actually some heartfelt moments coming up, Jeremy. I'm excited for you to keep going on through the season.
Yeah, I can't wait. But just caution to people that it is very salacious and it's just a ridiculous dating show. Anyway, everyone's going to be talking about it. Get ready.
Yeah, all right. We have a lot to get to today. Switching gears here, starting with this.
Chris Cuomo is sharing how his son Mario is doing after recently being diagnosed with the coronavirus. He shared the update during a conversation with his brother, Governor Andrew Cuomo, on Wednesday night's Cuomo Prime Time. Take a look.
The virus works its way through the family. It was me, then it was Christina. Now Mario has the same symptoms she had. He's got the coronavirus now. It's working its way through. They're doing fine. Thank you for your concern. Andrew, you always first and foremost. Thanks for caring about my family and about me. And thank you for fighting for the people in your state. I appreciate it.
Chris's wife, Christina, initially revealed her son's diagnosis on her Instagram Wednesday morning. In the lengthy post, Christina shared in part that her heart hurts and added that the virus does not discriminate.
Christina announced that she had contracted the virus herself earlier this month, just 2 weeks after her husband's diagnosis. Chris first spoke out about his wife's diagnosis on April 15th during prime time and said that his wife was not upset about catching the virus. He explained that she's the type of person who takes everything in stride.
In addition to Mario, the couple share daughters Bella and Carolina. Christina said that the 3 children had stepped up to take care of the household once both she and Chris were self-quarantined in their home. In one Instagram post, she wrote, "So much gratitude for them. I can't wait to wrap my arms around them again." Keeping Up with the Kardashians fans will be familiar with the family's matriarch, MJ, but she isn't just Kris Jenner's mom and Kim Kardashian's grandmom. She's a little bit of a sleuth.
Yeah, Kim revealing on Instagram that her grandmother is as shady as the rest of the family. She captioned a throwback photo of the 3 generations together, and it said, "My favorite ladies, fun fact, my grandma has a creep Instagram account to see what we're all up to." Kind of love that. And the idea that, I mean, my grandparents would not have even been able to log on to Instagram, much less understand having a creep account.
My grandma's on Facebook. She throws some likes and comments my way. I love it.
She's in the game.
We've been keeping up with Kim while in self-isolation, and we've noticed she's been enjoying taking some walks down memory lane. Like this post featuring her kids on a private jet. Nice life there. And this series of photos to honor her older sister Courtney's 41st birthday on April 18th. In her caption, Kim wrote in part, "I love your strong will to do whatever makes your soul happy. You pack a mean punch. I love you so much."
Chris also joined in on the throwbacks, posting these adorable pictures of the girls back in the day and writing that she just couldn't resist a few more throwbacks in honor of Courtney's big day.
All right, check out Prince Louis' adorable brand new rainbow portraits marking his 2nd birthday. Very cute. His proud parents, Kate Middleton and Prince William, released 5 pictures on Wednesday, just before Louis' big day on Thursday.
Yep, those photos were taken by Kate earlier this month at the family's country home where they're all currently isolating. Now, in them, we can see Louis grinning in a blue gingham shirt. The amazing thing here, he somehow kept his shirt absolutely spotless, even though he's got those paint-covered hands. How'd they do it?
Very impressive. Just like other kids around the UK, Prince Louis used the rainbow theme to show support to the National Health Service and other essential workers who are on the front lines of the coronavirus pandemic.
One of the photos even shows off his royal handprint. He made this as part of a stay-at-home art project with his older siblings, Prince George and Princess Charlotte. It has become tradition for Kate Middleton to personally take the official photo and photos that mark the birthdays of her children. We're always up on them, and honestly, she does a great job.
She really does. And while Prince Louis has not had as many public appearances as his older siblings, from these photos it seems like he's enjoying his time in the spotlight, and we think he's a natural. Happy second birthday to Prince Louis.
Woo! And in more celebrity kid news, Cameron Diaz has found the key to making parenthood work for her and her husband, Benji Madden. It all comes down to opposite sleep schedules. Who knew? During an Instagram Live with celebrity makeup artist Gucci Westman on Wednesday, Cameron spoke out about how she loves that she and her husband are polar opposites when it comes to sleep. It's making them better parents to their 3-month-old daughter, Radix.
She says this, that works so well for us as parents. I can go to bed a few hours early and he does those later feeds with her. And she adds that the setup made her realize we all need somebody who doesn't do what we do. And she calls the setup tribal, adding, it's why we need tribes. She says they actually stumbled upon that realization after a conversation with her good friend, Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, it all makes sense, especially in those early days of parenthood. You really have to split up the duties, no doubt. Cameron also shares that she's been keeping busy while on lockdown due to coronavirus. She says, quote, I'm so used to going. My engine starts and I don't idle through the day.
Yeah, but as her day starts to wind down, she reveals she likes to chill out by cooking, calling it her favorite thing in the world to do, and even her happy place. So what's her go-to comfort food in these tense times? As she puts it, too much pasta. There you
Sounds
go.
Good to me. Cameron admits to having fears brought on by the global health crisis, and she also offered her followers some words of wisdom. She said, the best thing to do is to stay in the moment and just take care.
All right, today's story to make you smile features Drew and Brittany Wolf from Illinois. The couple was excitedly expecting their first child to come in May, but were surprised when Brittany went into labor nearly 6 weeks early.
According to NBC5 Chicago, Drew asked both of their families to drive in from the suburbs to be together after Brittany's delivery, which was happening at Northwestern Medicine's Prentice Women's Hospital. But because of the state's stay-at-home order, Drew would not be able to do the usual hospital waiting room reveal. So he had to improvise.
Yeah, he bought some paper and a marker, and after Brittany gave birth to the couple's new baby, Drew raced to the hospital window where his family was waiting outside. His family filmed the reveal outside, while a nurse filmed inside the building.
I love this. Drew's announcement really built the anticipation. He wrote, coming in at 4 pounds, 13 ounces, in honor of Grammy and Poppy, Arlene and William, please welcome our baby. And the suspense is there. Drew then reveals it's a boy. You can hear the family's excitement there. When I watched it, I actually really got into it. You cannot help but smile during this. Asher Wyatt Wolf is the first grandchild on either side of the family. It's really a big moment for everyone involved.
Yeah, it was so, so sweet. And the importance of family even made its way into the baby's name. The A in Asher comes from Drew's late grandmother, Arlene, while the W in Wyatt comes from Brittany's late grandfather, William. So a really sweet tribute there.
We caught up with Drew via email. He told us that Asher is still in the NICU, but is making great progress. The proud dad adds, we know that he'll be ready to come home to us very soon. He's eating on his own from a bottle and overall doing fantastic. That's obviously really good news.
And they actually haven't been able to find the nurse who helped them record the announcement from inside the hospital. But Drew says they have spoken to hospital staff about it, and they're going to look into who was working that day, try to figure it out. Yet another story of healthcare workers going above and beyond right now. That nurse gave the entire family a memory that they will never forget. And our congrats to mom and dad on baby Asher's arrival. So one upside of self-isolating at home, no makeup needed, unless you're doing video calls like this. But a lot of people don't have to wear makeup. And in this week's People, the Beautiful issue, some of our favorite stars are sharing their thoughts on embracing their bare faces.
Starting with Rita Wilson, who recently recovered from COVID-19 in March, along with her husband, Tom Hanks. Rita, who often goes makeup-free, says it's how she prefers to be because of the low maintenance of it.
Although she admits she enjoys a little mascara, lip gloss, and blush from time to time, she credits her upbringing for her appreciation of a more natural look.
I grew up with my mom never wearing makeup. I mean, she wore it rarely. And I think somehow that translated to me feeling okay not wearing makeup all the time. I mean, I like it. I like a natural look. And if everybody didn't wear makeup, then we would all sort of be on the same, plane, kind of like, oh, okay, I like you. I like what you look like with all that stuff out.
For Salma Hayek, who is also featured in The Beautiful issue, it's a bit different. She says the way that she feels about herself without makeup kind of depends. Watch.
Sometimes I look in the mirror and I have no makeup, like I just wake up and I feel run down and ugly, and I go like, what happened to me? Because at my age, as you get older, the tired look is not as forgiving as when you were younger. But then sometimes I look in the mirror when I wake up or when I'm doing something and I go, wait a minute, I don't look so bad. Like, I don't look hot for my age. But my favorite days are the days that you're not wearing makeup and you're not looking in the mirror because you're not thinking about how you look. You're just present and you're just doing your thing.
Salma says the best thing about being makeup free is that it's one less thing to worry about. She says it won't be a priority, so you can just live your life.
For more on the barefaced beauties of Hollywood, check out the full special on PeopleTV. You can also pick up this week's issue of People. And tune in tomorrow for more celebrities sharing their perspective right here on People Now.
Stay with us. We are chatting with actor Harvey Guillen about What We Do in the Shadows Season 2 and much more. Plus, Grammy winner Alessia Cara has a brand new gig, and we are talking to her all about it.
Guys, very excited. Today, Superstore actor Nico Santos joins us from home, freshly out of bed, so I hear.
I like put on a hat, put on a little bit of I put on a little bit of foundation just for you.
Oh, thank you so much. It looks great. You're glowing.
Thank you. I'm pregnant. So.
You were telling me, and so you lived through this earthquake last night in LA, which lit up the social feeds. I've lived through a couple earthquakes, and even the small ones are scary. This one was enough to rattle you a bit. No pun intended. Sorry, couldn't help it.
Get out.
but you felt it somehow.
Yeah, no, it was really scary. It's people were like on Twitter was like, oh, it's only 3.8, but listen, the epicenter was so close. We really felt the house shake. I mean, we were shook, literally. I was all ready to like tackle this big day today. So I was gonna try and get some good night's sleep, but then the earthquake happened. I was like, not happening.
Yeah, not happening. You also mentioned there before to me the passing of your stepfather. That's something that we want to send our condolences. Obviously, something very difficult. We are so sorry to hear that news. We've been following along with you, as many fans have as well. Your mother also battling coronavirus, but is fully recovered, I understand. How is she doing now, and how's the family with everything that's happened?
We're okay. I mean, as okay as we can be. It's a little. I mean, it's surreal. I think it's the only word that best describes what not only what my family's going through, but what everybody's going through. There's no rule book for what we're all experiencing right now. So we're just trying to take it day by day. It's we lost my stepdad, but we're very grateful that my mom is here, and her symptoms were really not as severe compared to what my stepdad experienced or what most people experience. So I'm just happy that she's done with that. Yeah. So we're just life goes on, so we're trying to just move on as much as we can with stuff that we can move on with.
Sure. Yeah. Again, we send our condolences there. Is there anything that you would want people to know who are also dealing with family members or friends affected by coronavirus?
It's funny. Somebody I went to high school with just Facebook messaged me, and she's going through the same thing right now. And she was like, "How did you do it?" And I was so like, "I didn't. Like, it's okay to not be okay. Like don't beat yourself up for because she was like, I have to be strong, and and yes, we all have to be strong for our loved ones out there, but times are rough, man, and we're all just trying to get through it. So I mean, just allow yourself to feel all the feelings and to just not be okay. It's just nobody's experienced any of this before, so just give yourself a break.
Yeah, good words for sure. And you're right. It's all kind of just happening to everyone, and we're, I guess, all just reacting as we go and figuring it out. You're currently social distancing with your boyfriend Zeke Smith, I understand. How's that been going?
It's great. He's in the kitchen right now making some coffee.
Oh, okay, nice.
It's awesome. I mean, especially with what's been going on with my family, I don't think I could have gotten through this past few weeks without him. But it's nice to be not to be alone when you're going through something like that. And it's been great. I like the fact that I'm.
There he is. There's the man. Hey, gotta get a little shout out there. I appreciate that.
He's the cutest. What was I talking about? Sorry, I was just
so distracted. Just good that you're just saying how it's nice that you're not alone.
Yes, it is. It's very nice to have somebody here with you. Yeah, it's been great.
It's one of the things that we hear over and over again, and that I think I'm experiencing, and a lot of us, we're reflecting a lot more, looking at things from a different perspective. When we think about your career as a stand-up comedian, landed this huge role in Superstore, Crazy Rich Asians, I mean, things are going really well on that front. What would you say to the younger version of yourself about the moment that you're in terms of career at this point?
Oh gosh.
Have you done that much reflecting yet?
I have. You know what? I honestly, like, I think I would be like, just believe in what's possible. Because I think, you know, like when you're younger and you're, you know, and you're dreaming big, like, yes, you there are those moments where you do believe that those things will come true, but there are a lot of moments where you feel like it's never going to happen. And you know, and all this amazing stuff that's happened to my life, you know, it's only happened in the last 5 years, last 5-6 years. So it's, you know, my life was very different. Just 5 years ago, I was still, you know, working at a restaurant, you know, table for two, right this way. That was my daily life. So it's just believe what's possible. It's like, it's especially in this town, in this industry, you never know what's going to happen.
Let's talk about Superstore. The finale for the show wasn't filmed before all of this coronavirus situation, isolation, and the shutdown sort of took place. So then the season is getting cut short. What was your reaction and the cast reaction when that news was kind of unveiled to you, that was how it was going to wrap up?
We were like, dude, we were so close.
Yeah.
Episode left, and we would have wrapped it all up.
Is the plan moving forward to shoot that eventually and then have it release at some point, sometime?
Yes, I believe, as you know, America is leaving the show, and that was going to be her last episode. So our hope is maybe to bring her back for that episode, and we'll just film it at the top of the season. I think that's the plan, as far as I know. Again, I'm not part of these decision-making processes. This.
You get the scripts, you do your part. That's that. But this is good information.
They're like, make the haha, and then you know, here's your money. Go buy a Gucci bag. That's how acting works, kids.
There you go. What can fans expect with the way it's currently going to end with this final episode that's airing?
Well, I just hope that fans get a proper send-off to Amy. You know, I mean, we're all gonna miss America.
How do you, I guess, when you look at how your character Mateo, how he grew this season and where he would maybe go next season, what are your hopes and dreams? What are you most proud of about him?
Well, you know, Mateo's become such a complex and interesting character to me. Like when he first started, he was just meant to be kind of like the bitchy employee, and then you find out that he's like this undocumented immigrant, really sort of like fighting for his chance to stay in the country. And then you sort of like, you know, he's like an onion. There's all these layers.
Layers that peel back. So much meat as an actor.
You know, he causes you to cry. He represents a very common American experience out there. So,
for sure. Before you go, I just got to tell you that we love Lauren Ash at People Now. She has been on our show many times. She even announced that she was doing her podcast while on our show. We were very proud of that. And I saw that you just did it with her, right?
I've done her podcast. Lauren is, you know, my work wife. I love her to death. She's probably like one of the closest people I am with to the cast. Yeah, I don't know, that woman is just so talented and just the kindest.
Give me a snapshot of maybe one of your favorite memories with her. Is there something that would maybe be that she would possibly be a little embarrassed by, but would also be okay with you telling?
Oh, well, we went to Vegas together.
Really?
A couple of times, and I don't even know if I can say this. No, I'm pretty sure I can't say this on camera, but let's just say that we just perused for, we went window shopping for services.
Nico, I really appreciate you taking some time for us. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and again, we send our best to you and your family during all that you're going through. And guys, fans out there, be sure to watch Superstore, the last episode of season 5. It's tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC.
Harvey Guillen stars in the vampire-fueled mockumentary series What We Do in the Shadows, playing Guillermo, a human servant living among vampires who are all navigating the modern world, specifically Staten Island. He called in to tell me about the second season and some of his favorite guest stars. Take a look. Harvey, what is up? How are you doing? I love the poster in the background.
Yeah, look at these faces, a couple familiar mouths.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I'm just, taking it day by day, trying to do what's right for my health and keeping everyone else healthy. And I think everyone should be doing their part.
Yeah, and is there any new hobbies you're picking up, or what kind of things are you doing to spend the time?
Yeah, so I've been writing more with my writing partner. Jamie and I have been developing some new ideas, just keeping ourselves occupied, but also, trying to help out with organizations like Feeding America. The numbers are kind of outrageous. 1 in 7 kids in the nation don't have access to nutritional food. So we're trying to do that campaign and work with Feeding America as well with FX, where the network that the show's on. So doing stuff like that keeps you busy when you're trying to do your part.
That's great. Thank you so much for helping out and doing your part. Let's talk about the show. It's really funny, especially the premiere. I mean, for people that haven't seen it, right now is a great time to binge watch it. What is your pitch for watching the first season, getting caught up, and then also what kind of hijinks can we expect in the second season?
Okay, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
So What We Do in the Shadows is a TV show on FX that's based off the film by the same name by Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement. In season 1, you see a documentary crew follow these vampires. They've been living together for hundreds of years with their human familiar, Guillermo de la Cruz, played by me. And basically in season 1, you see them get into all kinds of shenanigans and daily adventures. But we also find out at the end of season 1, the cliffhanger is that Guillermo is the long lost descendant of Van Helsing, the most famous vampire killer in history. And so we pick up in season 2 right where we left off with a lot of vampire killing done by yours truly. And if you haven't seen the whole season, you can watch all of season 1 on Hulu right now, actually. So you can catch up on season 1 and catch up on the first 2 episodes, which have already aired as well.
Now, this is old news at this point, but you have a crazy audition story. I was shocked to hear that you got booked off of the tape. Didn't have to do a screen test, didn't have to do a second round. I mean, Taika actually called you and told you got the role. I mean, are you still kind of shocked by that? Because that is not normal, right?
I'm still shocked. I still don't think that's my mouth. I think that's someone else. Like, I don't know who that guy is. Like, I was like, how did I book this? I went to Wine and Cheese Night that my friend Mimi Michaels, shout out to Mimi if you're watching. She is in New York right now with her beautiful family. She invited me to Wine and Cheese Night in LA at her brother's house. It was gonna be a small get together. And I said, okay, sure, why not? I went to the get together and I met her friend Yvonne. And the next day, Yvonne texted me and said, hey, you're so funny. You should audition for my fiance's new show. It's called What We Do in the Shadows. And I went through this whole protocol. The character was 20 years older. So I was like, at least I'll get to meet the casting director because she's amazing. And I went in, auditioned. Like a couple weeks later, I thought I would screen test. They told me that I was going to screen test with my co-star, and I didn't. I got a call from a 16-digit number, and it was Taika and Jermaine. He's like, hey, is this Javi? And I was like, yeah. I was like, this is Taika and Jermaine. And I was like, what? I'm going to test for you, right? And they're like, no, you're not going to test. And I was like, I'm not going to test? Oh. And they're like, nope, because you got it. We'll see you on set next week. And I was like, on set next week? It was like such a Hollywood story. It was like I went to a wine and cheese night.
That is, okay, I'm never missing a wine and cheese night after this. After I heard that, you never know who you're going to meet.
You never know.
Did Taika ever tell you like what it was from that tape? Like he knew he just wanted to book you on the spot?
Yeah, I talked to all of them, because they had to go through FX. They had to go through Scott Rudin, Paul Sims. Everyone had to sign off on it. So there was the first time that they had all unanimously voted yes on a person who auditioned. So for the most part, everyone had said yes and no, maybe. So no one was on the same page for this character until I auditioned. And they said, well, why are we testing him? Like, we all agree he should be the guy. And so they offered the role. So I never even gotten to go and do a chemistry with Kayvon, who I do all my scenes with pretty much, which was insane. I've never had that happen to me. So just keep going to Wine and Cheese Night. That's my tip for any actor out there.
Yeah, if only it was that easy.
Right.
But that's really amazing. And the show's really funny and great. Taika, of course, co-directed and starred in the film version. What was your favorite thing about him as a director and working with him, or any maybe advice that he gave you?
Taika's so cool at what he does. I could watch him work for hours. Just he knows what he likes, and he can connect and talk to an actor. You know, him being an actor himself, he knows how to talk to an actor. So he goes, Harvey, go over here, and wait 2 seconds, and then turn around, and then you just know what he's saying, because like you can see how his mind is working. Like he's like he's a genius, and like just hearing him direct was just like a lesson 101. So it was nice, as his Academy Award would demonstrate.
Yeah. And then you also have a lot of really funny guests, especially on the second season. I mean, Nick Kroll, Beanie Feldstein, Haley Joel Osment, who is so funny as Topher. I mean, what were some of the highlights with these guest stars?
I mean, you know, working with Haley, like he's so nice. Like people were reacting to our chemistry. Like the character's chemistry was so great on screen, you know, because he comes in as this like, you know, cool, suave, like, you know, familiar, and just everyone loves him off the bat, and something that Guillermo's been aspiring for a decade. He just gets overnight. Working with him was great, and he's such a trooper, you know, like we're doing stunts and like fighting scenes, and he had to jump in a pond, like a koi pond, but it was freezing. We were shooting in winter, and they had to fill that with as hot water as possible, but like it was literally like it would cool off in a second, and he'd be in there doing another take in, you know, a minute. So it was really fun working with him. We had such great cameos last season, and we have even better and greater, if you can even imagine, this season.
The show's about vampires, but even if you aren't a big fan of vampire shows, I mean, I think it has something for everyone. Were you a big vampire fan, or were you a fan of any vampire franchises or movies in the past?
Yeah, I mean, I actually really do love Interview with the Vampire, which is like so perfect how like the character in my life like coincide, like, you know, but I really do like that whole genre, and like I love the living in New Orleans, and I love the dramatic and you know, flamboyancy of the vampires. Like I just love that vibe, and I think a lot of people relate to that because it's different. So whenever you've been an outsider or been like shunned by society, if you will, you seem to really latch on to things like, you know, the storylines of vampires, or like the world of like witches and warlocks and magic, because those are usually the outsiders that, like, you know, everyone kind of pushes away, but in this world everyone's welcome.
Well, Harvey, thank you so much for joining us. And everyone, you can watch the second season of What We Do in the Shadows. It's Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. on FX.
The perfect home! Yay! Oh, it's a candy factory!
So many machines.
So many buttons!
Levers, buttons, levers, buttons, levers, buttons.
Under the rainbow, I will spin the perfect home for my best friend. Wow. Rainbow food? This place has everything.
You know her as the Grammy-winning singer Alessia Cara, but now she is Jane in the new Netflix film, The Willoughbys. It's her first ever acting role, and I spoke to Alessia about that experience and so much more, including how self-isolation is affecting her upcoming music. Take a look. The Willoughbys also stars, among other people, Maya Rudolph, Will Forte, Ricky Gervais, Martin Short. Incredible voice cast. I know with an animated movie, you don't usually interact. When you get the call and it's official, you're in the movie, you're doing it, and then you find out who the rest of the cast is. I mean, what was that moment like for you, just to be a part of, you know, really spectacular talent here?
It was so cool. It's so crazy to be in that company, you know, like you just don't ever think you'll ever be a peer of these people, you know, let alone like be in the same project as them. But I'm such a huge fan, especially of Maya. I'm like, she's one of my favorite actresses, and so like getting to even have scenes with her and interact with her in that way was so much fun.
Acting in general, is that something that you would like to do if you moving forward?
Maybe, you know, I've always loved theater and drama in school. Like I was always in drama class and did all the little musicals and performances and stuff. So I've always been into it. I think my thing is that I'm very camera shy, which is why animated movies work perfect for me, because I don't have to be on camera.
I think about like music videos and things like that. When you're shooting videos and things, do you get nervous?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I even to do a photo shoot, especially where you have to like smize and wear all these. I never know what to do with my body. I'm like very bad at photo shoots. I'm getting better, but on the inside, it's terrifying.
So look, everything's kind of on hold with coronavirus, and I'm certain that also affects new music. But looking ahead for you, what does new music look like? What does a time frame look like for that?
I guess I don't necessarily have a time frame anymore. I was supposed to travel to start officially writing my next record, but obviously that didn't happen. So I've been writing on my own anyways, and kind of moving forward with the creative process just on my own regardless. So that's where it's at right now, just creating despite everything, and hopefully I'll get the chance to properly record once this is all done, but I have no idea when that'll be.
Does having the downtime help you get inspiration, or does it kind of hinder it?
I guess it's a bit of both. It depends on the day. I tend to be like a very melancholic person sometimes, and so the thought of sitting with myself for too long is scary, which is why I need to be out and doing things. But I think it's come in handy a bit, because I've had the chance to reflect a lot more on my thoughts and feelings, and it in turn has like actually inspired some songs, because you're just forced to think and forced to figure things out, and that in itself has like so much to unpack. So it's kind of been oddly very helpful to be home with.
Yeah. So does that mean that maybe the direction of the new music would be kind of a melancholy vibe, or?
Maybe. I always like to have a balance, because I don't want to like make people too sad, but there's definitely stuff in there. I think I'm growing up and figuring things out about myself that aren't always the easiest to confront. And so there's a lot of that for sure, but hopefully I can mix it in with some fun stuff too.
A lot of fans know, obviously every fan knows, you spent 2019 on tour with Shawn Mendes as his opening act. I'm sure that had to be an incredible experience. What was your favorite thing to do with Shawn when you guys were on the road?
Well, thankfully he had his best friend on the road, and so did I. So
oh, nice.
We were all like the same age group, so it was so perfect. And his videographer is the same age, so we just had this like friend group, and just being stupid was our favorite thing. We just like joked around all day and just ran around in the streets of Europe, and it was so much fun just to have that, like, those people your age.
When you look back on that period, what did you learn as an artist as you were touring with Shawn?
He is great with like self-care and like meditation and taking care of your voice, and I am so not that way. So watching him and seeing how seriously he takes everything in the best way was so good for me, because it was like, okay, I need to start taking care of myself too, and like really warming up and just like taking care of myself, because it's so easy to get caught up in the anxiety of things. And he's very like, he's that way too, but he also knows how to keep it like zen, which is really, really helpful, because I learned a lot from that. So that was probably the biggest thing I took, was like how to chill out, how to take care of yourself, and keep things in mind. What
is your number one tip for self-care, especially during isolation? Do you have anything that you do?
Well, now I've been trying to meditate a lot more. I know I used to think that was like so weird of a thing. I'm like, I don't really know if I would know how to meditate, but it actually just comes down to breathing. It's really, really helpful, because I have a lot of anxiety. So the best thing for me is just controlling my breathing, and also even things like writing down your feelings. I keep a journal with me, whether it's on my laptop or my physical journal, and I always write down my feelings and try to stay present. And that's always helpful for me too, when your mind is like running.
Alessia Cara won the Grammy for Best New Artist in 2018. So I asked her if she felt a sense of community with other artists who have nabbed that same award, particularly Dua Lipa and Billie Eilish, who won the next 2 years respectively. Here's what she had to say.
I mean, in a sense, yeah. Well, especially something like Dua Lipa, because I got to hand off the award that I won the year before to her, which was really cool. So that felt really nice, I guess, when you like share the same category. But I don't know, I feel like I just share like a sense of unity with artists in general, like young artists, especially young girls right now, because I feel like we just all go through the same things, and I just relate to them. You know, we live in a world where there's that fourth wall is sort of broken, and so you can really just relate to people easier, because you kind of know what everyone's going through. And I don't know, I feel like I just feel connected regardless.
Yeah. Is post-Grammy life different as an artist? Do you feel more pressure, or you know what I mean? Is there something that comes along with that win that changes things?
I guess in the sense that there are a lot of opinions about that, which can make it terrifying to win another one. Like, I feel like now, I know this isn't the right mentality to have, but I'm like terrified to win another one because of how many eyeballs are on you when you do win. It's like, you know, so many people are like, oh, you don't deserve to win or whatever. So it can be like kind of scary, because you're like, whoa, now all these new eyes are on me and they have things to say. But I mean, I try not to think of that. I try not to think of the pressures or the eyeballs, and just like focus on what I'm doing, and not worry about the accolades afterwards.
Is there anything else, maybe something that fans would be surprised to learn about you?
I don't know. Let me ask my mom. She's here. Ma, do you know something interesting about me that people don't know? I can't think of something. Oh, like synesthesia? Well, some people know that. it's actually like a disorder, sort of, where like two senses in your brain like link and they can't detach. So a lot of people know that I have this synesthesia where I can see colors with sound, which is really helpful in my music. But a lot of people don't know that I also have the type of synesthesia that associates like gender with letters and numbers, which is very strange, and colors with letters and numbers. So like, for example, the letter A is a girl in my head and she's brown, and then B is blue and it's a boy, and like A and B are like friends. It's very strange. I sound like loopy. I know.
Does this go all the way through the alphabet?
It's real, yeah. Like, and numbers as well. Days of the week are genders.
Wait, okay. So what's Monday?
Monday is a boy, and then Wednesday is an older lady. This sounds so strange.
Do you see them in your head?
I do. I see the word laid out in their color. Like Wednesday's like a dark brown, sort of like orangey brown, and then it's an old, like I associate it with an old woman. It's very strange.
Wow.
Like
Hey,
I know it sounds fake,
no,
but I promise you, Stu, you can Google it.
Actually, I'll tell you that it's so specific that and bizarre that it has to be real. Like that.
I tell you it is. I would not lie about something like this. It's
and
crazy.
probably the most surprising answer I've had in an interview that I can think of, and I do a lot of interviews. And remember, you can watch Alessia Cara as the voice of Jane in The Willoughbys. It's streaming now on Netflix.
All right, so we're all trying to make fewer grocery runs these days in order to follow the guidelines of social distancing. So Eating Well's editor-in-chief, Jesse Price, is whipping up 2 3-ingredient pantry recipes for us so we can put the items already in our kitchen to good use without sacrificing taste.
She's showing us how to make a chickpea curry with curry powder, a can of chickpeas, and coconut milk. And then she's cooking up linguine with clam sauce using, yep, you guessed it, linguine, canned clams, and garlic. All right, let's get cooking.
Well, the first thing after you're heating up your pan is you're gonna add in oil, whatever oil you have on hand. We didn't count these in our ingredients. We assume you guys have oil on hand. You could use butter too. I'm going with canola because it's got a nice neutral flavor, meaning it's not gonna overwhelm this. And it's also got a heart healthy profile of fats, meaning it has a lot of unsaturated as opposed to saturated fats in it.
So you heat up the oil or butter on medium-high. Once it's heated up, you can start adding in your 3 ingredients.
I'm gonna take my curry powder and add about 2 tablespoons. And I'm putting it into the oil first to do what's called blooming the spices. So it's basically just meant to go in there for 30 seconds, a minute, something like that. And I'm getting a little bit of the raw flavor out of the spices and really bringing out a lot of their flavor. And then I am gonna just go ahead and add my coconut milk right in there. I am using light coconut milk, but you could use full fat coconut milk. This just has a little bit less calories in it, and it happens to be what I keep on hand. And then we are going to cover this, and we are going to bring it up to a quick boil before we add the chickpeas.
Once your water starts boiling, you add your drained and rinsed chickpeas, mix it in, and then turn the heat up again to simmer. And if you want to add a little more to this dish, Jesse's got you covered.
Add in a frozen veggie, and you could add in almost any frozen veggie. I'm adding in Swiss chard. You could do spinach or kale. You could do frozen cauliflower. You could do frozen grilled red peppers, any of that. So I'm gonna just let that cook a little bit in there. But again, you don't need the vegetables, but you know, I'm always trying to boost it up with a little bit of extra nutrients, extra goodness. And I do have a ton of frozen veggies on hand.
Hey, you can never have enough veggies. Jesse also suggests adding some fresh lime juice. And there you go, looks delicious.
All right, now onto the linguine with clam sauce. We gotta start with the garlic.
Garlic is pretty much the essential flavoring in this dish. And I'm gonna use, I think, 4 cloves of garlic, and I'm gonna slice my garlic as opposed to mincing it. So slicing just makes it a little less overwhelming, and you can brown it just a little bit when you sizzle it in the olive oil, and then when you bite into it, it just is like a nutty, garlicky little pop, little chip of garlic that you get, as opposed to just like if you mince it, you're getting a bomb of garlic throughout your whole dish.
While you're slicing your garlic, bring water to a boil on the stove. Once it's boiling, add in a little salt and then the uncooked pasta.
I am putting in 8 ounces of pasta. This is enough for 4 people, so the healthy serving is 2 ounces of pasta per person, so that's half a box. And then I am putting in plenty of olive oil here. So, you know, olive oil in this dish is very important. It wasn't one of the 3 ingredients I mentioned, but again, you know, I assume you will have it on hand. And it's very important in this dish because I think it carries the flavor of the garlic and the clams, but it is flavor itself. So I go pretty generous with it. You could do this dish with butter also. It would be pretty darn delicious with butter. You know, buttery pasta with garlic and clams, hello. What's not to like about that? So I'm getting my garlic in there. My heat's pretty, my pan's pretty hot. So I just turned it down to low because I don't want to burn the garlic, but I do want to let some of the rawness cook off. We don't want like abrasive raw garlic flavor, and let it get a little bit golden. And as soon as that happens, oh, it's just starting to get golden on the edges. I don't know if you can see that in there. Just a little golden. Gonna let it go a little bit longer. And then we'll add in our canned clams. Okay, so my garlic is nice and golden. It's like little garlic potato chips almost. And I'm gonna go ahead and add in my chopped clams. I'm putting in 2 cans of these. You could do 3 if you wanted a little extra protein. But I'm just going 2 today. And I left the juice in, and that's gonna be, you know, part of the sauce.
Let the garlic and clams cook together for a little bit, and then add in the cooked and drained pasta. But hold on to some of that pasta water.
That is a nice thing to add just to make it a little bit, as you toss it here with that, just sort of clings to the pasta, makes it luscious and a little creamy. Not exactly creamy, but just sort of saucy and good. All right, we are just about done with this one here. Just give it a little final toss. And I think that one is done. If you have lemon, I would say go ahead and add it. The acidity at the end just brightens this whole dish up. And the other thing, I don't necessarily always have lemons, but if you wanted a little acid in here and you didn't have lemon, the thing I would recommend is white wine. And I would just cook that white wine down a little bit with the clams and the clam juice. So I always have that on hand.
A little white wine can make a lot of things better. And there you have it. For more delicious recipes, check out the May 2020 issue of Eating Well.
All right, guys, coming up tomorrow, we're chatting with Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hillary Burton Morgan about their new AMC show, Friday Night In with the Morgans.
Plus, Homeland star Sam Trammell is teasing the Homeland series finale. Be sure to tune in to see what he has to say about the highly anticipated episode. Can't wait for that. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and healthy. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.